Stop, drop, shut them down, open up, shut. We're live. Fuck. Hey, welcome to Keith and the Girl. I'm Keith Miele.
I'm Chemda.
Oh my God, humiliating. We'll edit that. Great to be here. Let's get right to it. Fabulous comedian and now acclaimed author. The book is Why Cats Are Assholes. You know how I feel about cats. I scooped it up right away. Liz Miele. Hello, Liz.
Hi. Thanks for having me, guys.
Congrats.
Yeah, I wrote a book.
I love it very much. What upsets me about it is that I just organized my book game shelf. And you ever do it where you're like, who do I show this to? Home and Gardens? Everything is placed just perfect. And it'll never have to be changed again. And then I get this book and I'm like, the fuck, now what?
How do you how do you organize your books? Is it size, color code, topics, authors?
You heard him say games, right? Like you will be his first book on the shelf.
Oh, no. Sorry.
He has that Heroin Diaries, right, Keith? Who else? What other rock and roll star? Maybe Bonnie's book?
I have to go to IKEA and get those fake books from the bookshelf. I hope they sell those. No, I have comedian books, of course, autobiographies. I place those by the last name. It doesn't matter if the books are different sizes. It needs to make more sense by last name. And then I ironically have religious books, the two dorky books my dad wrote, the Bible and The Case for Christ that my dad sent me without reading.
Oh my God, I didn't know you had a Christ corner.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You are a full Barnes and Nobles where it's just like humor section, emotional growth, evil religion.
Right. But it's all humor to me, you know?
Yeah.
And then by my TV, I have books that at a party people can just pick up, and that's where Liz's book is going to go.
Oh, good.
I can honestly flip to a page and laugh.
I think it's a behind the toilet book, if I'm being honest. I think it's a great.
I didn't know how to say it.
Or put it in front of a litter box if you do have a cat. I think you should read a chapter to a cat.
Honestly, fuck it. Put it in the bathroom, but use it as toilet paper. Listen, you just do whatever you want. Liz is so crazy right now. You wrote a book, okay? Now, before the show, I'm going to give you some behind the scenes. Before the show, Liz is like, I know, but it's a silly book and it's about cats. I'm like, oh my God, you're a cat person. You're the biggest cat person I know. And you're silly. You're a comic. She's like, people are finding it funny. So I'm getting good response. I'm like, Liz, you wrote a funny book. Of course it's silly.
I think I'm reflecting it to what I read. And I read pretty much I support any comedian that comes out with a book, whether I know them very well or not. I love reading. I think the last one I read was Bonnie's, but I'll read anything and I don't care what it is, but the books that I choose to read, like that I pick up or whatever, I read a lot of like very serious memoirs. I'm reading books about how to better yourself and like grow as a person.
Okay. But last time we spoke, you were very excited that some very famous cat started following you or something like that. Have you met you? This is you. Okay. So you didn't read the book, you wrote the book that you're supposed to read. You.
Right.
I actually, when I was writing it last year, somebody was like, who's this book for? And I was like, I think it's for me. Like, I'm almost positive someone's not going to realize I wrote it and give it to me as a birthday. I know that's going to happen.
That's going to be great. That's when you know you've made it.
Yeah. It's just, so I know that. And I care about it. Like I worked really hard on it and I cared about it. And I did all this like research and the goal was to make it funny and silly and kind of bring people together on this one silly topic. And I have told people like, when you're done, you either re-gift it or you turn it into litter. Those are your options. Like, do not let's recycle, reuse. I know what this is. But yeah, I am proud of myself, but I really didn't, the whole process, I was excited the whole time, but it didn't feel real until I had it. So I wonder when you guys came out with your book, was it like physically holding it? Like,
yeah. And it's, it takes it next level when you're really holding it.
Yeah. And then I was going to even say, do you have your own book on your bookshelf? Like what's the protocol for having your own book on your bookshelf? Oh, see that one? I wrote that one.
I wouldn't be shy about it because it's fun for me to see. I'm not sure where it is though right now. Well, but I do. It's on the bottom shelf. I have The Great American Novel, my autobiography, and What Do We Do Now, the relationship book with Chemda.
Mine's going to be like right at eye point. Like I want somebody to be like, oh, I was like, oh, you didn't know I read a book.
And I stapled the books to the wall. They're just hanging there. They're not placed like nice albums or anything. They're just there.
I think if you wrote a book and you're on dating apps, that should be one of your dating pictures. Like it should be like you, your friends, your book. Like you wrote a fucking book. For me, the writing of the book, it really solidified to see like how proud my father was, because he was like, what are you doing with your life? And I was like, Dad, I just got signed and I'm getting like an advance and we're writing a book. And he's like, so? And that was really just the time of my life. He doesn't know how sweet that moment was. It's going to last forever for me.
And by the way, a lot of great art in this book.
Oh,
as well.
I love the artist. I was a fan of her. All her stuff's on Instagram. Chelsea Trousdale. All her animal pictures were so expressive, and I'm, very cartoony, very silly. I feel like my comedy is very like visual, and I just felt like she was perfect. And when she agreed to do it, I was so excited. So the book cover, I'm very proud of my book cover because it was my idea. I pitched it. She made it amazing. But then my editor was like, hey, I don't know if it's going to get approved because all the titles have to be in the middle so it catches their eye. And the art department was like, this is perfect. And because the cup is falling, it really catches. I was like, I'm a genius. Like I should have been in marketing. I'm a fucking genius. Nobody's tapped into this. I'm like a little too proud of my cover.
No, this is perfect because you were like, I wrote a book, but it's silly. But the cover.
I do. That's where my pride point is like, I'm selling books off this cover. And that's real art.
Do every so often you mention your Instagram or a hashtag. Did you worry at the time, hey, will this specifically stand the test of time? Does it make the book look weird if something takes over in the future?
No, I don't care. I mean, I feel like how long does a podcast last? How long does an album last? How long does a special last? Like you write for the time. And if it continues, great. And if somebody has to explain, oh yeah, we used to have the phone, you had to spin it into the numbers. You had to hold it up to your face. There was no headphone. You hold it up. Like who gives a shit if you have to explain it? To me, it's like, this is what it is. Enjoy it. If you don't enjoy it, turn it into litter. Like,
by the way, remember yes, it's so funny because you did have to hold the phone to your face, but remember when you were at maybe an office or even like one or two people had it at home, because you talked on the phone so much, you added an extra piece to the handle so that when you try to put it on your neck, it's a little less of a neck twist. So that was an upgrade on your phone, is a little piece that brings you closer to the neck. And you see a lot of people like holding their neck and then, cooking or whatever. And that was our headphones.
Or the original speaker, which is that you would stretch the line out as much as possible and then you would have it and you'd be like, hey, shout, I got to get ready for this thing.
Right. And of course, I mean, there's old books that have language we don't even use. The bell jar begins with, it was a queer summer. Now, of course, you would say fluid, but you still understand what you're reading, right? You're not nuts. Yeah. By the way, the song I was caught myself, you caught me by accident, singing was DMX. We'll do some news and then we'll get more into the book. DMX is in a vegetative state. It started the 3rd of this month. This is recorded on the 7th of April, 2021. Rapper DMX in a vegetative state. He was on life support for a bit. He can't be talked to right now, but his kids could visit him. But because of COVID, they can only come in one at a time. But there's 15 kids. He has 15 children. And speaking of religion, a tattoo on his neck from Exodus 1:7, be fruitful and multiply, and your children will inherit the world. But they won't inherit the world because he's also in trouble for not paying child support.
Oh,
why is he in the hospital? Like what
drugs
happened?
Overdose.
Oh, I never.
There was a website, there still is. It's called isdmxinjail.com, and you would randomly go there and they keep track if he's in jail or not because he's always in and out. And now it just says DMX is hospitalized.
This just makes me sad. I saw him at a gas station once.
Oh yeah?
Did you bark at him?
Did he fill him up?
Yeah. But yeah, I was a huge DMX fan when I was in high school because I was angry, but I didn't have an outlet for it. And that's how white people get into hip hop. Yeah, those are just facts. And I was like the only person in my group that liked hip hop, and I loved like 90s hip hop, whatever was happening in like the early 2000s. And I would make mixed CDs. And sometimes people are like, I liked everything but the hip hop. And sometimes I would get people, I would convert people. I was very proud of myself.
Wow.
I know. But it had to not be like, I was converting people to like Common or Erica, like I guess Erica Badu is more R&B, but like I was like more like softer hip hop as opposed to like, I loved DMX so much because I hated my life, like that kind of stuff. But
DMX was so fun. I loved all the barking. The 90s barking was huge, and I was in for a little while, and then I was like, okay, maybe meow a little, like try something else.
But he gave us Eve, and I love Eve. Eve to me, when she comes up on my phone, I'm just like, oh yeah, what's Eve doing? Eve
oh my
was
God,
like the strongest lady in the world.
Great reminder. And then when she hooked up with Gwen Stefani, those two. Oh, they did a song together.
Oh, I thought you meant like they were a couple. I was like, that's beautiful. That's two strong ladies.
I thought maybe they were for a second. Like there was kind of rumors, but I think you just can't work with each other without people, picturing you scissoring. So I can't really put any weight.
Tell me about it.
Do you ever think you're playing music on your phone or something? And if the artist found out, they just grab your phone and go, that's not for you. I remember hearing, I love my bitches, but where's my, I'm like, yeah, where are they? And he would just give me your fucking phone.
Yeah.
This isn't for you.
I feel that way about most of my music. Like, I feel like something will be like, just really like calm and thoughtful. And I'd be like, I'm trying to be that person, but I am nowhere close to that person. Right. Like, this isn't for me.
He said, some of his kids have met each other.
Oh God.
I ain't a total piece of shit, end quote.
Oh, that is, save that for that stone for his grave.
How many, this might be disrespectful. How many baby mamas?
9.
9. Okay. All right. So there was some,
overlap.
I was going to say he kept some people around for a while.
Repeat customers. What's the word we're looking for here?
Yeah. Well, he had 3 kids with me.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Ugh.
I ain't have kids in the same county. Yeah, I slipped up. Well, again, if it's the same woman over and over, a lot of slipping up. I got a few in New York.
Also, if you're gonna spread your seed like that, I don't want the other, baby's mother, in the same county. Like, I'm kind of good.
Right, leave the county. He knows.
Yeah.
They ain't in the same county.
Yeah.
Also, like, he probably does have the money to support. It's like, it's more upsetting. Like, if you don't have the money and you have 15 kids, like, that's clearly irresponsible, but he does. Like,
I think once you have 15 kids, you stop having the money. That's more than a Hasidic tribe. That's crazy.
Yeah.
If they all got together, I'd say it's irresponsible during COVID. Okay, that's
they literally can't have Thanksgiving.
Yeah, they're over 10. In 2013, he filed for Chapter 11, 1.3 million in child support owed to 10 of his children.
Wow.
He said, yeah, I slipped up. I got a few in New York, got a few in Cali. This is starting to sound like a song, right? Got some in Jersey, got some in Maui. Or
it's like Ludacris's zip code song. Like,
yes.
Really, it's not women. It's actually just the kids he's ignoring.
Right. And the kids are listening like, do you have one in 11105? Oh, I'm not acknowledged. All right. So best wishes. I did love him. And I think that's how I came into him, listening to angry music. Probably Limp Bizkit was my first real angry music like that. And then it was DMX, I think. So I evolved. News is coming out. Tiger Woods, when he got into that car accident, he was driving over 80 miles per hour.
When did he get in a car accident?
A couple weeks ago, and he was in a coma as well.
I don't have a podcast, okay, Chemda, where I don't need to know these things. I know that Matt Gaetz might go to jail because of some kind of sex trafficking, and that is what I pick one news story that brings me joy, and then I follow it to fruition.
No, I am on your side. It's not like I would know about Tiger Woods unless Keith reads me the news, and that little chuckle was a thrill. I'm glad when people don't know what happens to Tiger Woods in his stupid life. In fact, when Keith said, oh, it turns out he's driving 80 miles an hour, I was like, yeah, he's a fucking shitbird. One of the answers of what happened is going to be, oh, yeah, he's a fucking shitbird. Not that driving 80 miles an hour is just total shitbird. That's so fucking fun. But yeah, it's going to be his fault. I don't know.
Does he try to sabotage himself between women and speeding?
No.
It's not the first time he has. You think he sabotages?
If he could suck his own dick, he would, but he can't. So he's got to like go out and get some stuff. He just wants what he wants when he wants it. It's just some rich guy that we happen to know. No.
Yeah, all his moves come across as ego and like invincible.
Yeah, why can't I have this? I don't get it. Why can't I have a perfect marriage and every single person I find attractive on my dick? Why can't I don't get it. I don't get it. What happened?
Well, I'll tell you what. Liz just made me open up my my Gaetz folder.
You're welcome.
And let's make sure everybody's on the same page about this Matt Gaetz.
I love
Matt Gaetz, the only member of the House to vote against an anti-human trafficking bill.
Hilarious.
435 representatives in the House. He was the only person to vote against it. Guess what? Now he's up for human trafficking, paying for a 17-year-old, at least one, to transfer to a different state. And that, of course, is when you get in trouble with state lines.
Can I just say
Liz,
this?
I didn't know that. So welcome to the show.
Oh my God, there's so much. It's such a good, it's like, this is my daytime drama. I love it so much.
See, this is the thing. Now we created a Liz Miele segment for every time you come on. It's which one item in the news is Liz aware of? And let's have her explain it. Liz, take it over.
Hi, sober and excited. Thank you for having me.
Explain why he's a bad man to Chemda.
Well, first of all, let's just talk about the fact that how would you not ask your other like senator friends or whatever what you're going or house friends that what you're going to vote on? Like, how do you not have like two people that you're like, I remember in middle school, like I was always scared to like dress feminine and wear a skirt. I would call my friend and be like, are you going to wear a skirt on Monday? She's like, oh my God, I'm totally going to wear a skirt on Monday. And then I don't show up in a skirt on Monday and neither does she because we were scared. But like you communicate that. Like how
That's
do you
rude. That's rude. And I'm going to interrupt you for a second because this happened to me and I was too nice. And you know what? My parents should have seen it and should have knocked the shit out of that right there. Okay. There was a friend of mine. We had the same coveralls, super cute, and we were having, what you people would call the Day of Independence. And that's the day that our school takes us out into a park. And it's like a day of fun and fantastic. We get to wear pants. We normally have to wear skirts every day from school because it was a Jewish school. So I'm like, we decided that we're going to wear this matching outfit together. Come the day of, it's been a long time since I wore it. Don't love the way it fits anymore, but I made this commitment. She showed up with something else. She's like, yeah, I didn't like the way it fit. I'm like, call a bitch.
Yes.
Okay. Now I should have learned my lesson, brought a change of clothes, made another decision, thought about myself a little bit more, but okay. I'm glad it worked out for you. What else about this guy, Matt?
Okay. So basically under Bill Barr, there was an investigation of this tax guy. Do you know his name? This other guy?
I only have so many folders, Liz.
Okay, sorry. I'm sorry. I know there's a shortage of folders. So this tax guy in Florida, he was just kind of like a renegade. He was crazy. He hired everybody that was in his bachelorette party to work for him. He was like buying people guns. He was using the taxpayers' money to do all this crazy shit. He was going through like the where people had IDs, like the DMV and stuff, and he was doing some kind of ID fraud crap. There's video cameras of Gaetz also getting IDs and doing some crazy stuff like that. Then, because that guy was being investigated, again, I forget his name, that's how they found Gaetz, because they were both like, he was like a sugar daddy and was doing like sugar daddy stuff and probably paying for sex. And that's how it got affiliated with Gaetz, because he was doing some of that stuff. And they believe that they like shared women, and that they like paid for like travel and paid for sex, and it's all on like Cash Apps and like Venmo and stuff.
I love that these are the people who would probably be the moral police, like
100%.
Yeah, like reproductive systems all in your face about them and how you're wrong. Yeah.
And so they believe that like this 17-year-old that she did cross state lines, that she was, but the craziest part about it to me is that he doesn't like see that he did anything wrong. He was like doing drugs with these people. He was showing nude photos on the floor. Some of the stuff's like, it doesn't matter. Showing nude photos of women you slept with on the house floor just makes you a dirtbag. It's not.
Did you catch that, Chemda? So he'd be on the house floor. He's at work and he's showing pictures on his phone like he's some stupid frat kid. Like, look, I fucked this. Look what else I fucked. And like, Okay. All right.
Well,
I mean,
that's at what point is that sexual harassment? Because I think right away, I don't know if you'd call it that, but it's I don't want to see
sure.
these people nude. I don't want to have this kind of relationship with you where I'm talking about my boner or not boner for this person.
Yeah.
That's
I didn't want it when it happened to me in bars. A guy
Yeah.
would be like, "Oh," and I'd be like, and I try to end it. So I'm like, "Nice. Does that feel good on your penis?" And they're like, "What, weirdo?" I'm like, "Oh, I was just supposed to be quiet and whack off to the idea of you two in the bathroom. I'm sorry."
that is funny. Keith, I think like it was brought up way back in our show, and I always thought you're just participating in it, and it never occurred to me that there are guys that really don't want this. Because I've always seen guys like go along with it and go like, "Holy shit," and pass it around and whatever, and I'm like, it feels weird. And for the first time, I heard someone go like, why is this in my face? And I'm like, you don't want this in your face? And Keith goes, no. And I'm like, but it's a hot girl. And he's like, what am I taking out my dick for my friend right now? Like, what's
Right.
the end game? And I
Am
go,
I on the calendar next month? What am I going to
Yeah.
do with it?
Yeah.
and I never really thought about it. I'm like, I don't know. What are they asking you to do with it? And he's like, well, I'm trying to find that out, but they won't. I don't know.
I know what they want. We all know what they want, and it's so sad. Like, look at
It's
you. You're able to
validation.
get. It's validation, of course.
Yeah, through somebody else's body.
Right.
Like, look who let me inside.
And then you find out that he's paying for it, and you're just like, hey man,
Mhm.
what are you bragging about? That you don't have a good enough personality for somebody to just love you? Like, it's just a little bit like, again, I think prostitution should be legal. Like I don't have a problem with that, but like underage stuff, any kind of sex trafficking, any kind of violation of people's bodies,
That's
because
a different law.
yeah,
Like, yeah, that's a whole different law. Just because it's under an umbrella, it doesn't mean that, people who want sex work to be legal want underage sex work. It's like, you want alcohol to be legal, but I don't want drunk driving to be. That's a DMV
Absolutely.
like otherness thing. Well, I want to be able to go out, but like, I don't want to be able to get shot. Where is that? It's just a different law.
There was also a great tweet. I don't know who said this, but somebody was just like, if you believe for a second that your great grandfather that worked in a coal mine wasn't selling his body for money, you are very mistaken.
Ooh.
And I was like, yeah, absolutely. There's so many people that sell their body, maybe not in a sexual way, but they sell their body to make a living. Fuck you for like, and like, we could go on and on forever, but with Matt Gaetz, the penalties are so high where it's anywhere from 15 years to life. And he's like, his whole family was like in politics and stuff. And he's such a like slimy douchebag that like these moments feel like vindication. And I'm
Sure.
not a revenge person, but I am a like probably the American version of karma. I know it's not the right way.
What is sweet?
It,
He's a Florida representative. He was one of the major players in the Take Back Your Capital citizens. Saturday Night Live said something funny in the news segment where QAnon here's this story and is like, nah, doubt it. Like, no, now you have some proof of kid fucking. I don't know about this guy. I'm like, you're right, because he's on the red team, of course. Yeah, so we'll see what happens.
It's so juicy. You should just, it's so good. It's so good.
And that was the Liz Miele News Corner.
Those aces, Liz.
Da-da-da-da. It's aces every time with Liz Miele. Grab your cat.
I saw this on Twitter. This person, Baby Ray, just somebody on Twitter wrote, there's no age that can't be sexy. That can't be sexy. Okay, kind of stupid. But Matt retweets it and says, I see we changed Florida's welcome signs to this. And then somebody wrote, Matt, this is not going to age well.
Wait, what? No.
Yeah, yes.
No.
Yeah, I say we changed Florida's welcome sign to this, pointing to a tweet from a random person that said, actually, I don't know who this is. Bebe Rexha has a check mark next to her name. There's no age that you can't be sexy.
And I'm sure she meant it like
old.
50, you know what I mean? Or 60. Like, there's no
like,
way
nice.
A woman wrote that and didn't think older.
Right.
Okay, because I was wondering, is that like, an Onion article like that was rejected? Like, I was like, how does that make sense? What age? What are we talking? I didn't think older. Holy shit. He did not retweet that.
Yeah.
You know what? This is so funny because right before you said that, I was going to say that it's technology that's taking down these guys, and I'll tell you why.
Right.
I just watched that trash movie that you really liked, Keith, with all the trash people, and they're in the middle of the country, and
There's
they're
no
trashy.
reason I shouldn't have this. Hillbilly effigy.
Yes. Yes.
Whoa, Jesus.
That not
Really?
the effigy. Hillbilly, whatever.
Elegy.
Yes. And in that movie, spoiler, people just get killed, thrown in a river. Nobody knows where you are. And there's no DNA, and there's no follow-up, and there's no cameras, and there's no anything. And I think like at around 40 and up right now, if you're 40 and up, you don't know how digital and how much people can find you, and how much proof is just in our natural lives that
Right.
you are committing crimes thinking it's still back in the day and you're not going to get caught. And I think now it's not really like you're going to get caught more now. Now, maybe I'm just like making it up because it makes me feel good and I want that to happen. But I think it has something to do with it.
Sure.
You know what I actually think is happening to that effect is that we all start at zero, right? Unless you're like Jennifer Aniston, you join Instagram, you get 1 million followers in the first second you join. Like most people start at zero, whatever social media, and they build up. So while you're building up, you don't know what you're doing with social media. You're retweeting stuff, but you're doing it in a vacuum of unknown, right? But you don't, like you said, that digital footprint is still there. So then when you shoot up to 100,000 or 1 million or whatever, you don't realize that the thing that got 2 likes is still there.
Okay, but would you ever retweet that?
No, of course not.
Whilst you're fucking the young girl. The young girl is probably the one that retweeted. Oh my God, Matt, you should retweet that. Like, retweet. Oh, I'm sorry to do that voice for her. She's actually probably so much smarter than him, although he stole
She's
her.
making money.
Yeah,
like she has a business that her father didn't get her. Like, fuck off. Like,
except for the ones that he's trafficking. Who knows what? Like, I don't think anyone's having a good experience with this guy.
Anybody that has sex with him has had a bad day. I think that's just fact.
It's just he can get away with that handsome face. The movie I think you're talking about, Chemda, is The Devil All the Time. But yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you.
Course.
I knew we'd get there. Silent trailers.
Did you see, by the way, speaking of COVID, Dr. Drew tweeted this out. These vaccine passports, they're debating, do we need vaccine passports now? These vaccine passports segregate people and strip them of their freedom to travel internationally. Wait, this guy's a doctor of everything, apparently. Right? He was a doctor of, I thought he was a doctor of addiction and all those superstars died. But apparently he's a doctor of everything. Vaccinations are important, but I encourage everyone to get the COVID vaccine. But how would you feel if international travel also required other vaccinations? Mm-hmm.
But they do.
It does.
They do, doctor.
It does.
They do all the time.
We've done that in America before, and they do it all the time everywhere still.
Yeah, you have to get certain shots to get to certain place. What? Do you own everything, Dr. Drew? Do you think you could just, what?
It was 10:30 a.m. when he wrote that. Like, it's not, the day didn't even go on and he was bored. That's the beginning of the day. What was the 6 p.m. tweet, this idiot?
Also, it's not America making the rules. It's the other countries. We are dirty and didn't take care of this. And this is scary for every single nation. It isn't Singapore. It isn't America saying when you go to Singapore, you need a vaccine. It's Singapore telling Americans you need a vaccine to come in. That's the other thing is the vaccine passport. We all have our own rules for people coming in, but you to leave, that's the other country's rules. Right. That's what they're making up.
But what if some houses made you take your shoes off? They do, doctor. They do make you. My God. I'm seeing, baseball's going on, Texas Stadium, 100% capacity. Why not?
Wow.
Why not? Well, I'll tell you what, that's why we keep things virtual over here. And we still have our Wednesday hangouts. We're going to do it tonight again. We'll be on Stereo, the app, stereo.com/Keith Miele or stereo.com/Chemda. Make sure you follow us both. That's how you sign up. And we play a game show on there. And it's a lot of fun. And then immediately after, we pop into the chat room at keithandthegirl.com/chat. We play some poker, do some yapping, do some laughing and crying. It's a whole bunch of fun. In fact, the person who won the first time we did the game last week, Abby, says, Hey, I won. I give my shout out, right? Here's my shout out. And she writes, shout out to Scorpion, who got the final question right, but not quite soon enough.
That's so funny. I read it different. It's, Abby, I guess they have to say whose voice they want to hear.
Right.
Because I'm like, oh, that's so nice. Like, shout out to Scorpion, who couldn't get it fast enough, but same Z's.
I think I read it right, didn't I, Abby? A Scorpion, you won. Not. I also wanted to shout out the War on Cancer app. War on Cancer app. War on Cancer is the largest free social app for everyone affected by cancer. Share your story, engage with others in the community, and take part in the optional health studies feature. Available everywhere apps are sold. Yeah, thank God it wasn't a pro-cancer app and I'd have to read it, right? I'd feel awkward.
War on, should I finish this sentence? Cancer. Okay. Whew. And it's an app,
Right.
everybody.
Right. I'm like,
great.
oh boy. The Malleys. Oh, geez. Tonight we're giving away 4 backstage passes to next week's Keith and the Girl Week shows. Don't forget, next week is Keith and the Girl Week.
And it's virtual, of course.
Yeah. So that's you'll play tonight on Stereo, win some backstage passes for next week. A lot of fun. Again, stereo.com/Keith Malley, stereo.com/Chemda. It's going to be a blast. That's it. Next week, Keith and the Girl Week. You know what to do. All the info is at keithandthegirl.com/tickets. All right.
And it's Keith's birthday. I don't know why he underplays that.
Well,
You hear my birthday coming a month away, 6 months. It's almost my half birthday. So it's Keith's birthday next week. Shout out to Keith. Why not?
Right.
It's 1/8 my birthday, and for that,
That's the spirit, Liz. Keep calling it silly until you get 1/8 of a nice puppuccino at Starbucks.
Now, Liz, of course, we're gonna talk about this book, Why Cats Are Assholes. And and I need to find out more about cats. Like when people seem to like these cats asshole attitudes, right? And Liz, do you like bad boys, by the way?
I don't. I like
Okay.
a nice guy.
Like if somebody met you on a first date and they just pissed on you, would that be attractive? Or I'm trying to figure
No.
out this love of cats?
You know
No,
what?
that's-
Maybe it is the opposite. Maybe I had to learn how to like nice guys because I didn't have an asshole cat around. She's dealing with assholes all day. We don't need this from the
I
boyfriend.
need a break.
Well, we're gonna deal with it, and I want to talk to cat people right now. I could be wrong because we'll get more into it, but right now, let me mention something to you, cat people. BetterHelp. BetterHelp is a mental health app. In 2021, mental health is finally a thing. So many people are struggling right now. They're not feeling like their normal selves. Therapy helps, and it doesn't have to be sitting around just talking about your feelings. So what is therapy, you're saying? That's whatever you want it to be. You can talk privately to somebody when you're dealing with stress, a relationship issue, that kind of thing. Whatever you need, it's time to stop being ashamed of normal human struggles and start feeling better because you deserve to be happy. Now, you don't have to worry about finding an in-person therapist near you to help. BetterHelp customized online therapy offers video, phone, even live chat sessions. Chemda's been using them. And if you don't want to use the camera, don't have the camera on. Don't worry about it. Much more affordable than in-person therapy, where I thought it'd be the opposite. Start communicating with your therapist in under 48 hours. Join millions of people that are already into it. This podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp, and Keith and the Girl listeners get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/KATG. One more time, that's betterhelp.com/KATG. All right.
Don't bottle it up. Your parents gave you some sort of taboo about talking outside the family. That's okay, because when you talk inside the family, what does it do? Blows shit up. Try it out on a stranger first. See if you bring it to the family after. You might not. There you go. So
No.
talk to someone.
That's right. Betterhelp.com/KATG, right? All right. Now let's get into the book. I, of course, know the answers already. It's more for the audience, Liz, because I have this book. But maybe you could just let some people know where you're coming from. What is attractive about a cat not liking anybody? How is that fun? And that they're so mean. It's a two-parter. Why are we declawing them? And
Why aren't we, or why are we?
why are we? Why
this is
are
a
we
lot.
when they hate all your friends?
Okay, so there's a lot of prejudice in this, and I don't appreciate it.
Yeah. No, I'm being the other
so-
people. I'm being the other people.
Yeah, oh, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Your girlfriend, you have like a step cat. You have what is it when your girlfriend has a cat? I don't know
I
how
do
that
have a
works.
step cat, and you know what? Not only did I not declaw it, I taped knives to its hands because why the fuck not, right? Fuck my feet.
No, I want a real battle. So this is the thing is my mom has an asshole, like a true, like my mom calls her cat a bitch. She got a quarantine kitten, has thumbs, it has like these big paws and these big thumbs. It's really cute. There's a word, it starts with a P. I forget what it's called. But when cats have thumbs.
Just a reminder, both of Liz's parents are veterinarians.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And what's kind of cute.
Well, you know what? They had to be because they loved cats at first and they kept ending up in the hospital.
Yeah, they're like, I got to start sewing my own wounds. Health insurance. We have 5 kids. I can't cover this. Both my parents retired. I mean, they did get their new license where they moved to, but they're both volunteering to vaccinate people, which which my mom said. So like, there's a list of like, you know, I'm a nurse, I'm a retired doctor, whatever. And there's no veterinarian. It just says an other. And my mom was so mad. She's like, they're the ones in zombie apocalypse movies that save everybody. Right. Why am I not like third?
That's true, actually. That checks out.
It's always the veterinarian. They know how to treat the whole body without symptoms being said. So,
and what would other be anyway? I'm a librarian, but I work in the medical section.
yeah. But my sister's an emergency room nurse. She's doing vaccinations. My brother-in-law is a firefighter and EMT. I think he's doing vaccination. I've never helped anybody, by the way. Like that's like
this is why you're like, my book is silly. It's because he's like, my brother's saving cats out of trees and also fires. But I wrote this cute thing.
Oh, my mom's like literally like dressed like Rosie the Riveter, like giving out vaccinations. And I'm like, does anybody want some light reading while you wait in line? But anyway. Yes, there are asshole cats, but as I said to my mom, you know, they really reflect the owner. And if you don't do the work, like we've met asshole kids. How did they become? They started out as a little baby. They're not, they grow into it. So I feel like, especially if you got a cat as a kitten and they continue to be an asshole over time, you've done something wrong. Now, if you get a cat from a shelter, they're older, you need to reteach them love and affection, but you also need to let them like feel comfortable and get there on their own. I think it's a mix of allowing cats to be themselves and feel safe. And the more safe and less attacked they feel, the more they'll relax, but also showing them love and bringing love. Yes, there's going to be some dispositions that never kind of soften, but I think the same way that you could talk about a kid that's acting out, I would say the same thing about a cat.
So if somebody says, hey, I've had this cat 14 years, and don't be offended if it doesn't like you, it doesn't like anybody. They just said they're a terrible mother.
If they like them. So we all have friends that have dogs that are like, for some reason, they're very protective of us, but they don't like other people. Some breeds are just very loyal like that. Most people, when they say their cat is an asshole, they are nice to them, but they're not nice to anybody else. Like I have a friend, he got a cat in college. I don't even know. She's got to be like close to 20. She's so old. She's not really friendly. She's not mean. She's not inviting, but she'll cuddle with him.
Or maybe that's a sign that your friends are assholes.
Is it sometimes when you hear the phrase fight like cats and dogs, is that a misnomer because the cat always starts it? It reminds me of when I was in school and the bully would be punching me. The teacher would sit and go, guys, knock it off. And I'm like, okay, I'll knock it off. You've seen those videos that are supposed to be funny where the dog is the size of half the house. He can't walk down the stairs because a tiny cat is there being an asshole.
They're the best video. There's this video of a cat like on a sidewalk somewhere in like Europe or whatever. And every time somebody passes, it swats at it. So people are just like not even seeing it. And it's like hitting their face, grabbing their bags. And I'm just like, I just love this security guard that somebody placed on the sidewalk in front of a restaurant. I was like, that's amazing to me. Asshole cats don't bother me. That's the other thing is that like, you
don't feel bad for the dogs. I'm like, the dogs look like they're ready to cry and they can obviously chew this cat up literally, but they don't have the disposition for it.
Well, also dogs roughhouse with each other. So how is that not just a form of like sibling roughhouse?
I'll tell you the difference because I've seen dogs fake fight and it's crazy because they take their jaw to the left of the other jaw. And, and you can easily do it on your phone if it moves too fast for you and watch it in slow motion. It's amazing. They know, no matter what they look like in general, I'm not talking Cujo, that they are having enough fun. And, I'd be at the dog park and I'd see this kind of fighting with big dogs. I'd walk through, my puppy would walk right through both of them and they would just stop. They're like, okay, puppy's gone. Fake, fuck you. But a cat, no, he takes bites of my feet and scratches. It's real things.
Somebody should talk to Kyle about this.
This is what I'm saying. Thank you. I think
know about dating you because
Yeah, Harry can do better. I've always thought Harry could do better.
Do you think sometime soon, if this book doesn't, get to enough people, we're not going to be able to use the word cat anymore because it's going to be derogatory. We'll have to say feline. Do you think that there's going to be a time where that happens? I wonder. I don't know. I had dogs. I didn't train my dog to lick my tears when I cried, but the dog did it. I mean, a cat's like, I'm going to vomit on your carpet and give you something to cry about.
No, my cat will vomit on my carpet and cuddle me when I'm sad. It's not mutually exclusive. Right. How many times have you had a bad day and that's still a part of you? You can be an asshole when you have a bad day, but you're still loving, you're still nice, you still return phone calls, you still open doors for people.
This is the thing. It's what's weird about Keith is he's like same level asshole where he's having a bad day or not. That's weird. You. It's very weird.
Maybe that's why you can't accept this, because I had major mood swings until I was probably like in my late 20s. And then this is being kind of locked up is the most teenager I felt. Like I just felt like I couldn't manage my emotions the same way I did before. But like I go through a range, like if I'm pissed off, like I now can communicate and be like, I'll tell my roommates, like, I'm in a bad mood. I don't think I should be around you. And I've learned from my cat that she'll be in a bad mood and she doesn't want to be pet and she wants to be left alone. Like you start to learn the communications of the people you live with and the people you date and the friends you have. And I think it's the same thing with animals. Now, are dogs like having, just like, I don't know, like to me, dogs feel like having like those, remember those little, like in the 90s, you had those little like digital pets. What were those called?
Yeah, so like Yoshimoshi or something.
Yeah. Like I feel like it's like a digital pet where it's just like kind of programmed and you kind of know the 3 different things that they're going to do. Cats are a little bit of a wash. Like each day is different. And it's like there's people that like adventure and there's people that drink the same cup of coffee at the same time every day. And they go to the same store and they eat the same dinner. And I'm somebody that has done shows in Pakistan. I like an adventure. I like not knowing if my cat's going to bite me or, lick my forehead.
Wouldn't it be fun? Like you wake up in the morning and it's like, oh, look, a new kid. What's this kid like today? So it's exciting, right? Okay. Yeah. I guess, do I make it breakfast, I guess, or does it throw it on me? You ever see that video? And there's probably a bunch of different versions. Well, where a military guy comes home from war and the cat jumps through the window to hug him. Isn't that fun to see? Right. It never happens, does it, Liz? Yeah, but it's dogs. But it's dogs that do it.
It was a tiger. I'm telling you, have you ever seen...
Well, a tiger's like a dog, Liz.
No, fuck you. It's the feeling. Fuck you. You just make excuses. You don't want to love them. You're a bad person. No, there's actually tons of videos of cats protecting little toddlers. There's a great video of a dog attacking a little toddler and the cat came in and like scared it off. Cats you see all the dogs are doing, like if you
it's just bad, Liz, that you could name that one video and keep just got a genre of video.
Right. That's all. That's and bad. You know who that kid was, by the way? A young Matt Gaetz. Dog can smell it. Dogs can tell when the owner is a block away. And you know what?
I love that you're like, cats are Nazi sympathizers, Liz. And you should know that.
Dogs can tell when you're a block away. Now, cats can too, but that just tells them when to put away your purse.
A dog will shit in your shoes. A dog will pee wherever he wants. And I don't want to be, can I just be clear? I'm just not just on Keith's side. I'm on no one's side. Yeah. Never had a bet, but there's some glaring issues here.
But you've seen cats, that's all. Did you?
And I'm pro dogs, by the way. Like that's my favorite part.
Like, you're goddamn human, I know. Yeah. And you don't like women getting beat up just because they're prostitutes. Have you seen the movie Avengers?
Oh my God.
I don't know. Like I've seen a bunch of these things, but like I don't know at the same time either. Is it recent?
Nick Fury is the leader of the Avengers, right? Okay. And he's Samuel Jackson. He's a tough motherfucker. You just know he's fought people in other galaxies, right? He wears a patch. Do you know?
I know that.
According to these movies, no joke, how he lost his eye.
I first saw it it was like a cat scratched his eye.
A cat scratch!
Oh my God.
The toughest motherfucker lost his eye from a cat scratch. And you know what? I'm not surprised.
Oh my God.
Do you know, I don't know if this is true, but I think it is because I read her book. Tina
What's
Fey's
fake?
scar
Avengers
on
is
her
fake.
chin. Tina's Fey's scar on her chin is because a dog attacked her when she was younger. I'm pretty sure that's accurate. So it's like, we can play this game. Yours is fictitious. Mine is real. And somebody that's on TV. Like, you're just being ridiculous, right? I feel like
Hold on. I'm
fighting with my
Googling
brother.
Tina Fey scar, and turns out it was a gang of 7 cats.
And we're in a
Pakistan
dog
or
suit.
something. Yeah. In a dog suit. They're very crafty. I'll give them crafty.
Dog PR.
I'll say the cats are smarter, but that's what makes them worse. They know better.
Yeah.
Oh
That's
my
all.
God.
No, this book is fantastic. You should be very proud. I'll read
Thanks, guys.
I'll read some chapter titles to you guys. Let's see. A Brief History on Why Cats Are Assholes is chapter 1. So I was in. Resting Cat Face is chapter 6.
Which, fun fact, you know, it looks like dogs are smiling or whatever.
Yeah.
Cats have less muscles in their face than dogs and humans, and that's why they always kind of look kind of angry or
Don't give away the entire book, Liz.
I'm just saying.
Why do cats love boxes so much, Liz Miele?
So it's about, so they need to get low to kind of like hunt and stuff. So if you're hunting a prey, you have to kind of get low, and it's protection. It feels like it's like they have protection all around. So it's like, think of it like a foxhole. So that's what it is. It's like, it's a form of like protection, and they feel safe to sleep in it because it's like they're protected all around.
You thought she wouldn't have an answer. A boom.
Bitch, I wrote a book.
Please,
I wrote a book.
Chemda, that's chapter 9. I knew there'd be an answer. Crazy Cat Ladies Are Real is chapter 12. Chapter 14, Why Don't My Friends Like Cats? All right, so this will help. I just got it the other day, so I got to
I text that to Keith every day. I'm just like, why don't you like this cat?
And then conclusion, can you fix an asshole cat? All right, so I'm not completely out of line. This will help change my brain, I'm sure.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh my
Right.
God. Also, a new segment. What movie did Chemda watch and how old is it? Thank you. Thank you for having me. Hi. I saw Melvin Goes to Dinner. Have you seen this?
I haven't even heard of it.
Oh my God, I'm so excited. It's like almost 20 years old. I am so excited. I'm convinced that Keith saw it already. It has everyone in it, including
Has everyone in it?
including the progressive girl. You know,
The woman in the progressive commercial.
she is an amazing actor.
Really?
Amazing. Yes. David Cross is in it.
It's directed by Bob Odenkirk, who's fantastic.
Oh, he's great.
And I think he might have been in it for a hot second, but I'm not sure. Maybe not. But anyway, it's really mostly just conversation. I absolutely loved it. Looks old. Like the film looks old. The whole thing looks old. But they have a scene here, Keith, that I was reminded. Remember when you went to, what is it? Mindspring, Life Core? What was it?
Landmark, which by the way is
Landmark.
its own episode. If you want to check it out, Keith and the Girl, Google Landmark.
Yeah. Yeah. So they have a scene where, and we went to one of the Landmark things to see what it was like.
Right.
It was a scene from one of those things, obviously making fun of that very specific thing. So good. It was exactly right on. The guy was saying the most perfect thing. And that was just 5 minutes. And that was the David Cross scene.
Okay.
And it's so good. I loved it. I think you like it. It's hard to say with Keith. There's a lot of talking, but things eventually.
Keith hates talking. The
Well,
irony.
You know, there's, I don't know I guess if you don't like the characters right away, I don't know. Things like tie in together later. It's fun. I can't believe you haven't heard of this. This is so exciting. I figured it was
wrote it down. I'm very excited.
Yeah.
I figured it was a classic that everybody knew about, that like, I was like, oh my God, Keith is going to make fun of me because we probably talked about it on the show like 10 years ago from some segment, but oh my God, my new segment, it's already off and running. Dun, 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 dun. Chemda goes to the movies with you. And
Chemda recommend. Sorry, please do that theme song again.
I'll work on it.
I didn't mean to talk over it. Chemda recommended the movie. Please, Chemda, you do it or don't. White Boy on Netflix, the documentary. There's White Boy Rick, which I didn't see, which is fictionalized, but based on a true story. And the documentary White Boy is an hour 22 minutes. She said she saw that one and said, I didn't see the other one, but I recommend start with this one. It is so convoluted in the good way. It's crazy. It feels long because you keep thinking it's going to end.
Yeah. Yes. And it's hard to follow because there are a lot of characters, but they do a good job by like putting the characters in your face, like as they're mentioning them.
And then cutting to their interviews so you know exactly who they're talking about.
Yeah. So
it's so good. It's nuts. It is nuts. The government was involved on turning this guy into a stool pigeon, and then they deliberately put him in and left him to rot, and he's still in jail. But he was the white guy working with black people because he was told to. He was an informant. And the mayor of Detroit, they start with that. It's not just 17,000 twists.
It was a twist.
Watch out for the mayor.
Okay, the mayor. Okay, you could say the mayor thing because that's just crazy, right?
Yeah.
The mayor was in an Eddie Murphy movie, Beverly Hills Cop, right?
Yeah, he was the boss.
As his sergeant yelling at him like, "I'm done with you, Foley. Foley, what are you doing?" Turns out he's the mayor and he's responsible for so much shit. He recently died, so they couldn't put him in this documentary, but
they had enough of him just the same, I thought. So there you go. We got Melvin eats dinner.
No, Melvin goes to dinner.
He goes to the dinner. We don't know if he eats it, but that's probably Chemda not wanting to give a spoiler, right? She knows. Do they eat dinner a little bit? Don't say. White boy. The main guy's white.
So far, I'm killing it. I can't wait until you see this Melvin goes to dinner thing. I think that it could have mixed reviews by you, but I think all in all, you're going to like it. Also, I just started watching because I finally came to Xerxes has been wanting me to watch this. What is that?
She's pushing it.
What is that Lemon series? She's Lemon. She's Liz. She's Liz Lemon.
30 Rock?
Yeah, you got it. Okay, started watching that.
It's like my favorite show, by the way. Like that's like good. If somebody said you could only have one show and you have to watch it. I already watch it over and over again. I love 30 Rock. I think it's one of the best written shows.
Tell me if you find a dog in it, Chemda, okay? I heard some things.
Well, I'm one episode in and it's pretty interesting.
You recommend it? Okay, Chemda recommends 30 Rock, everybody.
Okay, for the record.
The winner, with Liz Lemon, the winner of the Mark Twain Award for Humor, she recommends 30 Rock. Give it a shot. Give it a chance.
Don't ruin my segment. My segment is very particular. I recommended Melvin Goes to Dinner. Mm-hmm. I happen to be watching something you guys are all aware of, and I thought I'd join in. That's my join in section.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
I'm gonna need a new theme song for that.
Joining in with you, finally. Joining in with you. You've been talking about this forever, and now I know it too.
It's gonna be weird if Chemda remembers that next Wednesday.
You're also a good singer, so it makes me laugh so hard.
Right?
How bad this is.
Yeah.
Like to know how beautiful of a singer you are, and then for this to be so bad, I'm like, look at her bringing herself down to our level.
Yeah, she wants to be funny, but she doesn't want to show off. It's not about that.
Listen, when we have a singing section, that will be different. Okay, we're in development. We're workshopping, and I think this went pretty well. We had some good segments today.
All right,
right in. Do you like our segment show?
The book is Why Cats Are Assholes. It's by Liz Miele. The whole thing's great. Congratulations. I'm putting this right by my TV. Show I'm a happening person. I mean, nobody's around, but you get the idea. You get the thought, right? Are there things you're missing out on with the book coming out now in COVID? Like you can't do a reading in Barnes and Nobles or something like this?
Yeah, I'm bummed about that. So I did a YouTube live reading and I did a cat naming contest, which was actually really fun. Like a lot of people showed up and I have like certain like little exercises. So I like described a bunch of cat fur patterns and people told me their names and I gave out like signed books and stickers and stuff. And that was really fun.
Oh my God. Did anyone use the name Chemda?
Hold on. Chapter 12 tells you why not.
Yeah.
Because it's like you already have a hairball, so it fits.
Smart. That's
thank you.
Like
that's in your next book. Don't worry about it.
The addendum, the updated version. Yes. The reprint. 2022 reprint. So people came up with like really funny names, like what would you name your cat or what is the name of your cat? We gave out prizes. The biggest prize went out to this guy. His cat name was the regional manager. Come on. That's just amazing. But there was like, just, I don't know, that was just really fun. But yeah, I would have liked to been able to, my whole thing when I first got the book deal was like, oh, I could go to cat cafes and do like small little readings there or do like some kind of events there. But so yeah, there's a bunch of stuff that I wish I could have done live, and then even like I would have sold them after shows or done signings, but like I'm not really doing meet and greets after the few little shows that I'm starting to do just because it's still a little unsafe. So it's a little bit of a bummer, but also when people are locked indoors, like I put out a special in the middle of the pandemic, I put out a book. I'm like, people aren't leaving and need stuff to be entertained. And I'm out here sending them stuff. So I feel like this is the right time also.
Here's what I think the lesson is, okay? Follow Liz Miele, wherever, like Facebook, Instagram, whatever. You're on everything. Very diligent about being on top of shit. Follow her. If she has another naming contest, I swear to God, if Chemda doesn't win, I'm blaming everyone listening to today's episode. Everyone. If you just met me for the first time because you're here for Liz, shout out to you. Thank you for being here. Please subscribe to the show. Chemda, Chemda. Pronounced with the fucking feline fur. It's in there. This is, I don't understand. Okay, so you have what you need to do. You follow Liz, okay? Liz Miele, Miele, okay? That's on Instagram. That's on Twitter. That's on Facebook. There's no not finding Liz Miele. There is none.
That's right.
So
that's right.
Catch
I'm
it.
out here TikToking, guys. I'm TikToking.
Are you?
Yeah, I was one of the first adopters. I know that if one person that wasn't on another platform sees me, that's a ticket sale in the future. You make it work.
What does early adopters mean? Old person on TikTok?
No, before the old people went on, I went on. So when it was just teenagers dancing, I was like, I'm going to try to put stand up on here and see what happens. And then I went from literally 70 followers, and then I put a heckler video when I was in London in February of 2020. So the word COVID is in this like heckler thing, and that went viral, and that's how I got all my fans.
How great!
I will tell you this: your heckler videos, because you've had more than one. Love it. Yeah. I love the way you handle hecklers.
I love those videos. Shout out to hecklers, because these videos.
This is a great cat name. Great cat name.
That's great. That's good. Okay, that gets second place, folks.
All right. Well, congratulations, Liz. Love to pasta.
Thank you.
And of course, stereo.com/Keith Malley, stereo.com/Chemda. Join us tonight. Sign up right now. And that's it.